Crack wars.
Hi everyone. Now you might notice that basically everything is different, from the picture to the sound to where we're sitting, and so we've got a little bit of a technical / personnel hitch right now. The person who's usually behind the cameras is away, and so we're having some technical difficulties, as evidenced by the fact that this is the second attempt, because last time there was no sound. Anyway, this is going to be sort of an episode 3.5. We're going to try and get back on the train with episode 4 as soon as we can. But in the meantime, we wanted to talk about the event that's happening this weekend, because there's a new prize car. Mm-hmm. And you're going to tell me all about it.
That's right, because in particular, it's this Caterham, the Levant, the event.
Yes, I say Levant. I'm not sure whether I may be wrong. I think just go with whatever you're comfortable with.
The Caterham Levant, but players are probably looking at that card and going, wait, but it looks identical to the Caterham Superlight R500, right?
Yeah.
Which is known as a really great specialist car in the game. Yeah. So it's like, what has it got that makes it RQ28 versus RQ26? So we thought it was pretty important that, given that it's the prize car, going right now, we should demonstrate what this car can actually do.
Yeah, because it is an unusual car. So Caterham's been around for a long time. They produced lots of different models, right up the kind of the Superlights, the R500s, and its successors are right at the kind of crazy end of fast cars. The Levant was only produced for a short amount of time, but was at the even crazier end of crazy, really, if that's such a thing. Very, very specialist sort of creation. It was unusual in that it had a sort of a small 2.4 litre V8 engine, which is there's not many of those around of that spec. Which is it's just it's an unusual end at any time, and then to put in a car kind of as small and as light as Caterham, it creates something quite special. I sort of about 550 brake horsepower, something like that, which is, even the kind of Superlight R500, things like that, is only around the sort of 200, 250 mark. So it's quite excessive in a way, and I think created quite a unique driving experience from the road test that I read. But so I think we're going to look at a couple of challenges here, just to kind of put it in perspective a little bit. So I think first up we've got the Superlight R500, which, as you say, on paper looks very, very similar to the Levant, up against the McLaren P1 G-Force. So if we run this, so if we run this now, McLaren P1, Caterham gets sort of a little bit ahead.
But it's
so the kind of Caterham's weight really helps it kind of get into the G-force and kind of hold a bit of a gap. But on the exit of the G-force, the P1 is just too strong for it, and it's kind of foot down and kind of gets up to speed faster. You can actually see that in the little graphs kind of that we draw from our telemetry. If I now change that to the Levant, just bear with me for a second. So Levant versus P1. So P1 won that first one. So if I run this now, it's going to be quite similar. They're actually kind of very, very close going through it. And the Levant the P1, it can't even though it's a very powerful, very fast modern car, because the Levant's already sort of rolling at that point, it can actually deploy sort of all of its power, and it's just really, there's nothing can touch it kind of at that point.
So it's in handling terms, it's technically a bit lower, but it's almost a third of the weight.
Yes.
So it can really keep up.
Yeah, so it's very light. So where I think we would see sort of potential issues, and I guess why on paper it looks similar to the Superlight, is that kind of that initial getting off the line, so kind of 0 to something, just that 550 brake horsepower is basically useless. Even a Superlight R500 is going to struggle to put its 200 brake horsepower down. So yeah, so if that's why on paper those two cars look very similar, but I think the demonstration here, the reason why the R500 lost and the Levant wins is that as they're coming out of that G-force, the Levant is already rolling. It can just use all of that, 500 plus brake horsepower, and I mean, there's almost nothing in the game that is going to touch it in those sort of scenarios. So it is quite a special car.
Well, so let's just make it real clear. Put two Caterhams on a 1 mile drag.
Yep.
And then, that's where it's like, well, 0 to 60 is the same, so what's going to happen?
Yeah,
I think that should really
so let me just pick it quickly from our ever-expanding list of cars, which I need a better way to choose these. So if I put it up against the R500, pick just a straightforward 1 mile drag.
Yeah, let's go 1 mile.
Okay, so again, as you can see, both top speeds 150, 0 to 60, both 2.9. We'll run it and then we can chat about it. So both very fast burst off the line, and then the Levant just leaves it in the dust, really. And what are we looking at? So victory with that 71 points. We see, which is that is significant. It's our old friend mid-range acceleration that we talk about a little bit. There are various reasons why it's not a figure that we can make player facing in detail in the game, but it obviously exists. And
it's mobile.
Yes, and this is where that power. So it's like you're beyond the traction issues which exist with both cars getting off the line, and then you can just see what that sort of completely crazy engine and power output does. To two cars that are very, very similar. The Levant has got some kind of body modifications and things like that, but they're very, very similar.
So just my favourite thing about mid-range acceleration is it's a secret weapon in top drives. I think you have it going for you and other people might not know. So they might challenge you on this, going, your top speed's only 150, that'll be easy. You've got this surprise mid-range.
Yeah, and one thing I think worth noting with the Levant as well is that top speed is limited to 150.
Right.
I think with a lot of Caterhams, it's just all the aerodynamics that come into play and stop them going any faster.
Yeah.
But with the Levant, I imagine for kind of health and safety grounds, I've got a feeling it might actually start taking off above 150.
Yeah.
So you've got just a very, very rapid car in that kind of that whole sort of mid-range space. A pretty special car to add to your collection if you can, and I think surprise a few people in the future with this.
Great, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
great. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We will get back to you with episode 4 as soon as we can. In the meantime, make sure you're subscribed and you've hit the little bell so you get notifications notifying of our videos. We will come back with your questions next time. So thanks very much and have fun playing Top Drives.
Cool. How good is the audio?